welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Samantha and we don't have shelves in the shot today, but we do have precisely one cat. Yep, there he is. That's Humphrey. He is here and you'll notice we are standing at a slightly different angle because I'm trying something new today. I am going to do a vlog and that is terrifying for reasons that I will get into later. But you may remember a few videos ago, I discussed how I was going to be getting my edits back from my agent soon. My novel was getting ready to go on submission and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do an Edit My Book With Me vlog about that. The edits are done. The edits are done and that is exciting and terrifying and I'm feeling all of the emotions. But yeah, my edits were extremely minor and I basically had one scene to revise. I did that revision, my agent did some copy edits, and as of today, Wednesday, March 8th, 2023, my book is officially on submission and I am over the moon ecstatic. It's a dream come true. It's a literal dream come true. Like 9-year-old, can you hear that? That's my knees crackling because apparently I'm not 25, I'm 75. This has been my dream for like my entire life. And there's a lot of mixed emotions right now because I am feeling that euphoria and that high. And I'm also like, there's that weird, you know, that come down you get when you do something really wonderful and then you're like, okay, I did it. Now what's next? And it's like, you're kind of like mourning. But I'm having a weird thing, but mostly it is elation and joy. But since I can't do okay, great, Humphrey's leaving the shot. Since I won't be doing an Edit My Book With Me vlog because the edits are already done and the book is in the editing universe, I figured I would do a Draft a Book With Me vlog because I do indeed have another work in progress that I will probably not share very much about. I'll share a little bit about it. If you want to stick around, I will talk a little bit more about my current novel that's on submission and my work in progress. And yeah, I thought it would be kind of fun to just show a little bit more of my life in a less, I was gonna say scripted, but I don't script, which you can probably tell, a less formal setting. I'm not just sitting in my chair and talking at you, but you can meet some of my cats and I can prove to you that I exist outside of this one little room. And I can also just talk a little bit about my writing process and sort of my experience, a little bit more with being agented and going on submission, and yeah, a little bit about my work in progress. I don't understand how some people are so open about their works in progress, like titles, fan art, mood boards. I can't do any of that. First of all, it's just not my style. But second of all, like, I don't want anyone to know anything about my work in progress. It's not about plagiarism. Like, no one's gonna, no idea is original, right? Like, no one's gonna steal it. I'm not that pompous, but it is the idea that like, I don't want something to go into the universe incomplete. So I don't talk about my works in progress very much. Like that shit is the Warren Report and I am the FBI. And I don't think that joke's gonna land for many people, but I hope it landed for you. So first things first, we are gonna go hang out with all of the cats. And then I think I am going to talk a little bit through like March hopefuls, like my tentative March TBR. I'm very much a mood reader. I don't plan what I'm going to read more than like 1 or 2 books in advance, but I think I know the next 2 books that I'm going to read and I could just maybe talk about that a little bit. And then we will have some wine because it's a Wednesday and I need it and do a little bit of drafting together. So let's go meet the cats. Welcome back. This video is now sponsored by Glossier. Not really, but if they wanted to sponsor me, that would be great. The Milky Jelly Cleanser amazing. The lip gloss, best lip gloss I've ever used. The balm.com, except I don't know about the new formula. I have heard since I got rid of the lanolin, it's not as good, which makes me sad because the balm.com, especially the mango, is my ride or die. But enough about my non-sponsor. Glossier, seriously, if you want to like reach out, my emails in my little link thing. So just saying. Yeah, I wanted to talk a little bit about the book that I'm reading right now, which is Acts of Desperation by Nolan. Good thing I can't be monetized because I'm pretty sure that YouTube would have an issue with this woman's ass. I'm really enjoying this so far. I understand why people don't like this book, but as someone who has been in this kind of situation and dealt with this kind of someone who's like an emotional terrorist in this way, the way that Kieran is to the narrator, this is hitting home for me, and it's beautifully written, and it's just a really powerful examination of this deeply fucked up, unhealthy relationship. So I'm at the 40% mark and really, really loving it. I'm thinking right now I'm at like 4.5 stars, and if it holds up, it could go up to 5. Now for my next reads. This is subject to change. Once again, big mood reader, the biggest mood reader on the planet. But I am tentatively thinking, do you love how professional I am, just like stepping out of the frame? Have you subscribed yet? I think my next read is going to be The Writing Retreat by Bartz. My refrigerator was running this whole time. That's great. I'm not gonna cut it out because I'm sweating under my ring light. I'm actually warm in my house for once. Anyway, The Writing Retreat, Bartz. This was my February book of the month, and I was really excited for it until I read, slipping out of the dust jacket, until I read all of the really mid reviews on Bookstagram. I did have one person tell me that they really loved it, but everyone else seems to, I've either seen like 3-star reviews or I've seen a couple 1-star reviews. So I'm feeling very apprehensive. It's been a minute since I've read like a straight up thriller, which is how this is marketed. I think a lot of times the marketing with like mystery, thriller, suspense all gets lumped into thriller. So this may not be a pure thriller, and I am prepared for that too. But yeah, I'm going into this. I think I kind of just want to get it like off my TBR. I just need to know how I feel, and I'm in the mood for a thriller. Do you guys see like the pages that are like the very thick? I don't know. I don't love it. It's giving me a little bit of a texture issue. Also, God, the goddamn dust jacket, but I'm not taking it off. The lime green is giving me the ick. I get it. It's done for contrast, but this is terrible. I don't like this cover at all. This screams like, not graphic design is my passion, but like I'm in my first year majoring in graphic design at my local like state college, and also like I didn't take a graphic design class in high school, but I'm really convinced that I want to major in it. That's what this is giving. I'm 90% sure The Writing Retreat will be my next read after Acts of Desperation. The next one I'm a little bit less certain about. I'm like 60% sure this will be my read after The Writing Retreat, but it is If We Were Villains by ML Rio. I've talked before about how apprehensive I am about this book. I am not a dark academia girly. I have some very critical thoughts on The Secret History by Donna Tartt, and that just, I don't know, the dark academia aesthetic doesn't really speak to me, and hello, my cat's screaming at me. Yeah, I can't connect with it. College is not a time I look back on fondly. It's not something that I want to glamorize or romanticize, and the subgenre has just never really captured my interest like pretty much everyone else on bookish content. But I wanted to give If We Were Villains a try. I have heard a lot of people that I follow on Bookstagram really rave about this book. Do you hear that? That's my cat trying to climb into the cabinet. I have child locks on my cabinets, and then I have, I was gesturing like you could see it. I have bungee cords across some of the handles because one time he climbed into like my condiments cabinet and he knocked over soy sauce. It was really great. I'm just glad it wasn't the oyster sauce. Yeah, I know. Do you want to say hi to the people? This is a big mama's boy. Yeah, he sees himself. I love that. Anyway, this is another case where this cover is just a very low effort. Is it the UK version that has like the dead bird on the front? I don't like that one much either, but I like it better than this. This is just so deeply forgettable. I would never like not pick up a book because I didn't like the cover, but like we all like an aesthetic-y cover, and this is just, this is just not giving what it needs to give. But the Shakespearean connections do add a lot more intrigue to this for me than most dark academia I've run across. So I don't want to say I have high hopes, but I have realistic expectations and I am open to loving this. I would love this to like turn around my perception on dark academia. So let's hope ML Rio is serving. This is Humphrey's channel now. He was in the shelter 7 months because, quote, he looked funny. Someone didn't want this cat because he looked funny. He's so loving. Like, I'm obsessed with him. But yeah, fun fact, this cat has AIDS. Yeah, my cat has AIDS. FIV, feline immunodeficiency virus, is a real thing. It is the cat equivalent to HIV, and as long as you manage it and they don't pick up an infection, they can live really long, happy, healthy lives. Humphrey is about 11, and consider this like your PSA to consider adopting a cat with FIV. They need love and they deserve good homes, and that's another reason that he didn't get adopted. It breaks my heart because the idea that a lot of people like passed up on just a lifetime of love. Like, look at this cat. He adores me, and it's like the best thing in the world, like this kind of unconditional love. And I get it from all of my cats, but Humphrey is special to me because I have had him for 6 years. We've lived in 3 different places together, and he has been here through a lot of highs and lows. So I've had discussions with him. He knows he has to live at least another 5 years. We're hoping for more like, if he could live to 20, that would be great. That'd be great. We had a cat in my family that lived to 18, that's all I'm saying. Anyway, I am going to pour a glass of wine, and I think I'm going to relocate back to the office, and yeah, then I'm gonna do a little bit of chatting about being on sub and my drafting process, and then I will do a little bit of writing. So I'll see you in a minute. And we are back. We are posted up with the Palm Springs candle, which I love, love, love. I got it from a little local store here in the Inland Empire called the Little Swiss Chalet. And I believe they have an online store. They have a lot of really wonderful candles, clothes, stickers, cards, all sorts of really fun stuff. So if you are local to the Inland Empire, or if you just want somewhere cute to shop online and to give your money to a small business, I really recommend the Little Swiss Chalet. They are wonderful. Love going there. We are also posted up with a glass of Barbera. This is the M2 Barbera. They are a winery up in Lodi, California, which is like kind of like lesser known wine country, kind of plays second fiddle. I love that the computer screen went out. Kind of plays second fiddle to Napa wine country, which is much more well known, but a lot of really great wineries in Lodi. And if you like reds, this is a wonderful Barbera. I'm saying it like I know anything about wine. I don't. And fun fact about me, I have worked at 2 wineries in my lifetime. And at one place I poured wine, and I could not tell you like anything about wine. You know, when you go wine tasting and you get the tasting menu and it has all these like, this has notes of fig and cherry cola with an acidic finish. And I'm like, okay, wine good, wine bad. That's the extent of my analysis. So wine good, highly recommend. So let's talk a little bit about my book on sub. On submission means that my literary agent is now currently submitting my novel to editors at different publishing imprints. Right now, our plan is to submit to editors at all of the big 5 publishers. Now that the HarperCollins strike is over, we will be submitting to their imprints. I know the names of the editors and the imprints that we are submitting to. Obviously, I'm not going to share them. This is a very personal process, and it would be extremely bad form to share all of that. So that's about as much as I'm going to share, that I am submitting to big 5 publishers, and I'm terrified. I'm absolutely terrified. So obviously, while I'm not going to share the editors and imprints I'm submitting to, I do know all of that information, and I really love that my agent shared that with me, because that sort of transparency is really important to me, that I know. And I can also go on Publishers Marketplace, which if you are either like agented or trying to get agented, I really recommend a Publishers Marketplace subscription, because you can see which agents are doing deals, what editors are acquiring what books, and it just gives you a really good sense of the market. But the caveat is $25 a month. It's a very steep subscription. Compare that to something like Query Tracker, which is $25 a year. So YMMV, as I like to say, but I've found it really helpful. And yeah, so I've been able to do a little bit of research and kind of get my bearings with all of the editors we're submitting to, and it's super, super exciting and also terrifying. So let's get to the terrifying part. The terrifying part is that it's books can die on sub. It does happen to people. Obviously, I'm hoping it doesn't. I am hoping that I get a book deal and the things can continue to go swimmingly, because this is the last like major barrier to entry, is that an editor has to be interested. And obviously I have confidence in my book, my agent has confidence, but this could take a while. This could take anywhere from 8 hours to 8 months, and there's just no way to know. So I'm not a very patient person. I am not a spontaneous person. I like to know what to expect and when to expect it. That is just how I like my life to go. Surprises are a no for me, dog. But in the meantime, while I am sitting here with bated breath, biting my nails into oblivion, I have a new work in progress. And that is some really great piece of advice that a lot of people give to querying authors, that while you're querying one project, you should be working on another. Re-fucking tweet, cannot agree enough. Definitely always be working on something new, and just, it takes your mind off of things. It gives you something else to focus on. And if somehow things don't work out with the project that you're on submission for or that you're querying, you have something like in the pipeline ready to go. So I started a new work in progress. I want to say it was like December or January. I did have like a 2-month break from writing during my querying because I was just emotionally sapped by the whole process. But then I was like, okay, I need to buckle down and actually create something new, because otherwise I'm just sitting here idle. And I think it was Kafka that once said, a non-writing writer is a monster courting insanity. Kafka knew what he was talking about. I am 22,000 words into a new project, a new novel. I would also consider it suspense, a little bit more of like a psychological suspense bent to it than my previous, or I should say the book that I'm on sub with, I think is just more like pure suspense. And I'm really excited about it. Obviously, I'm writing it. I would hope I'm excited about it, but I was having this long hangover with the book that I am on sub for. And I found it really hard to connect to another piece of writing, and especially to another protagonist, because I adore my protagonist in my book on sub. She is a formerly incarcerated sex worker. She is angry. She is a badass. She is just unapologetically prickly, and I love that about her. I love women who are not afraid to be disliked. I'm also channeling that with my new protagonist. That's kind of like my wheelhouse when it comes to protagonists. I like complicated women. I like women who kind of fall outside of what women should be, for lack of a better word. Women should be demure, they should be likable, they should be cheerful, they should be happy. I like women who are not those things in books. So feeling very comfortable with that. And without giving too much away, this is a story about obsession. It's a story about friendship under false pretenses. And I will tell you this, I am experimenting with writing this in first person direct address. So think You by Carolyn Kepnes, think The Push by Ashley Audrain. I am experimenting with that, and so far really loving it, because like at its heart, it is kind of a stalker story. And I think that just kind of ratchets up the tension and makes you feel a little bit more uneasy. So I am having a really fun time with that. I originally wrote it just like normal first person. I love first person present tense. And it felt too removed to have the protagonist be stalking this person, this other woman. I was like, no, it should be you. It should be you that she is stalking and doing all this unhinged shit to. These two women have this shared history surrounding a crime that took place a long time ago. My protagonist remembers the other woman very clearly. The other woman does not remember the protagonist, and that allows her to sort of wheedle her way into her life. They're both in recovery from substance abuse. That's something I'm trying to handle with care, because I think substance abuse, especially alcoholism, is used as a crutch in a lot of like mystery suspense thriller books, and it's just like a cheap plot device. And there's a fire truck going by. It's time for the hourly fire truck to drive by the house. So I'm trying to make it like more of a facet of those characters than just, oh, this person drinks too much and blacks out, because I think it's kind of cheap and overdone. So that's my challenge right now, but it's a challenge that I am really enjoying, and I am having a lot of fun in the head of this unhinged woman, because while my protagonist for my book on sub is like angry and vengeful, this protagonist is just straight up unhinged, like not well. for many reasons, and has a lot of self-loathing, but she is a really interesting character study that I am just delving into it is fantastic. I mentioned earlier, I stay pretty vague about like works in progress and my book on sub, partly to like, in a way, protect myself because I don't know what's going to change. For instance, like my book that's on sub has a completely different title now. It is not going on sub with the same title that I queried. And certain things could change once the book gets acquired by an editor. And I don't want to promise things that may not be there. And I also just don't want to have that external pressure of, well, I promised this, so like I need to fight to keep it. Ultimately, like I trust editors the same way I trust my agent, that they will see things that I cannot see. And then it's my job to fix the problems that are diagnosed. So part of it is that, part of it is just that I think writing is a really solitary process. It's not a collaborative process at all to me. You'll never see me co-write with someone. I just couldn't do it. So the idea of sharing my work, like I'm on writing Twitter and I'm thinking of deleting it because it's actually like, it's just the complete antithesis to who I am as a writer. And it's not a dig to anyone on writing Twitter. There are so many wonderful creative people. They just have like a different philosophy. Like I'm not going to make mood boards. I'm not going to look at the temperature in your city now and post a paragraph from that page in your book. I am not doing that. That is not, no, it's not what I do writing for. And I understand for some people that kind of collaborative process is so helpful and it builds excitement. And a lot of these people have built like really big online followings that are hyped for their books. So once again, it's no shade, but it's for me and like my personal writing style, it doesn't fit. Mood boards, fan art, prompts, it's not my thing. And writing Twitter is just laden with all of those, and I'm straight up not having a good time on it. Writing Twitter is also not like a great place to be if you write anything other than like fantasy, romance, or YA. I've not found another suspense writer on there, which is like a little bit alienating for lack of a better word. Like I want to find my community, but it's like everyone's writing fantasy. And again, no shade. Those genres are popular for a reason. They're not my cup of tea, but they might be yours. It's all good. But yeah, it means that like I don't have people to connect with, and it's like, well, I'm really glad that you wrote your fantasy novel, but I can't connect with it because it's not what I read. So yeah, having a hard time on book Twitter, that was an interesting tangent. The TLDW of that, if you skipped it, is that I play my cards close to my vest. Like telling you that the two central characters in my work in progress struggle with substance abuse is like me feeling like I've overshared. And again, it's nothing to do with like, oh my God, someone's gonna steal my idea, because ideas are a dime a dozen. Everyone has ideas. Everything's been done before. I believe that the uniqueness is in the execution, but it is just that things change, things get abandoned, things get reworked, and I don't want to have expectations set for myself that I would be better off not meeting in some cases. So the writing, the drafting. First things first, I do not set word count goals for myself. This is a word count free zone, the same way it is a reading goal free zone. I don't need that kind of pressure on myself, and it's the reason that I've always failed doing nano. I tried to do nano like 3 years in a row and I tapped out at like 30K words because that pressure just, it drives me mad. And I also edit as I go. So you will see me like scrolling up and down a lot in this document. You will see me like going back, deleting paragraphs, reworking things, and that's just how I operate. So I say that to say, don't expect me to like turn back around at the end of this and go, I wrote 3,000 words, because that's just not how I operate. I might write 300, but I will be goddamn proud of those 300 words. So I'm a slow drafter, but it also means that I'm a clean drafter. My first drafts are usually very workable, and you'll always have to do developmental edits, but for my book on sub, I did not have to do any significant developmental edits. Like all of my subplots stayed intact, all of my characters stayed intact. All of their arcs stayed intact. That again could change once an editor acquires the book. I'm saying once instead of if, because I want to be optimistic. So like that all could change, but I have strong developmental bones, and I think that's because I draft cleanly, and that's what works best for me. Once again, not yucking anyone's yum. If you can like churn out 3,000 words a day, I tip my cap to you, because that's fucking badass. Maybe like once a month I can do like 2,000 words, but I'm pretty steadily between like 500 and 1,000 words a day, and that's enough for me. Another thing you were also going to notice, I type like a fucking maniac, by which I mean I use these 3 fingers and my middle finger. I'm not flipping you off. I literally use these 4 fingers to type, and like occasionally a thumb. It looks really fucking janky, but I type like 80 words a minute, so don't knock it till you try it. I went to Christian school where we had to learn to type on the home row. I don't know if that was a thing in public school, but yeah, like home row, and oh God, it was horrible. It was horrible. I hated it. By that point, I was already like ruined for typing because I typed my little weird like spider legs. Anyway, I'm gonna shut up now. I'm gonna turn on the computer and I am gonna do some drafting, courtesy of my wine. We are back. The glass of wine is finished. If I move ever so slightly, you'll see that my cat came to join me, which was a good reminder that I need to stop and nourish myself and eat dinner like a normal person. I did about 40 minutes of writing and I did 750 words, which is not the highest word count that you will see on Writing Twitter, Writing Tube, Writing Gram. Writing Tube, Writing Gram? Oh, that was terrible. But the point is, even though my word count is not the highest thing you're going to see, those are 750 words that I'm really proud of. And I found this strangely helpful for being productive because I knew you all were watching me and I couldn't fuck around. I have a hard time focusing on things. If a task does not give me an immediate dopamine rush, I'm not interested in it. So I will sometimes, if I'm writing a scene that I'm really struggling with, I very easily will get distracted. So I found this much more helpful than I was going to, even though it's a little bit big brother, knowing that you're all watching me. This is your friendly reminder that it's about 250 words to translate into an actual page in like a physical published book. So if I wrote 750 words, I think the exact count was like 772. We'll call it 750 for the sake of easy math. 750 words is about 3 pages in an actual book. I love putting it into those terms because it's the closest thing that I can get to tangible progress, while this is just sort of living in a Word doc on my, Humphrey's leaving, living in a Word doc on my computer. I'm feeling really good about the progress I made today. I started a chapter that I'm excited on because I'm gonna throw the same 2 characters who have been interacting, the protagonist and the woman that she's obsessed with. They are together, but I'm gonna throw a 3rd character into the mix and it's gonna kick off a little bit and I'm excited. So I have that to look forward to next time, and that's like my little pro tip. Is don't stop at a good stopping point. Stop somewhere that when you come back, you will immediately be like, oh, hell yeah, I'm gonna dive in. That's why I tend to not stop like at a clean chapter break if I can help it, because I will struggle to begin that first chapter. But if I end like right in the middle of the action, I can pick that back up so easily. And I'm going to wrap it up here for the day. I am going to refill my wine, order dinner because I do not feel like cooking, and it's 7 p.m. and there's just something mentally, once it gets past like 6:30 or 7, I'm simply not cooking. I'm not doing it. So that is what the rest of my evening looks like, plus a few cuddles with the cats. And I just wanted to say once again, thank you so much for being here and participating in my first ever vlog. It's a little bit scary. I know that my life is not super aesthetic-y. Like I know that I don't have that whole like blog aesthetic going on, but this is me, this is my life, and I am excited to share pieces of it with you all. So if you have made it this far, I would love it if you would like, subscribe, leave a comment. Let me know if you would like to see more vlogs, or maybe if there's just some kind of particular content you'd like to see more of in vlogs, such as perhaps more cat content. I could always give you more cat content. I am going to leave it here. Thank you all so much once again, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.